In the opulent glow of crystal chandeliers, where the elite of New York City's high society clinked glasses and whispered deals worth millions, a single phrase shattered the air like fragile glass. "She's with me," the man said calmly, his voice steady amid the rising murmurs. At the head of the long mahogany table, billionaire heiress Victoria Harrington stood frozen, her champagne flute slipping from her manicured fingers, crashing to the floor in a spray of golden bubbles. Her eyes locked on the little girl beside him, wide-eyed, innocent, with curls that mirrored her own from childhood photos. How could this be? The room spun as secrets long buried threatened to erupt, pulling Victoria back to a night she'd tried to forget forever. The guests, a sea of tuxedos and gowns, turned their heads in unison, their conversations halting like a symphony cut short. Whispers rippled through the crowd. "Who is he? That child looks just like her." Victoria's heart pounded in her chest, a drumbeat echoing the chaos in her mind. She had built walls around her past, fortified them with success and solitude, but now, in this glittering ballroom, those walls were crumbling. But wait, what if this wasn't just a chance encounter? What if the man, Alex Rivera, a humble single dad scraping by as a mechanic in the suburbs, had orchestrated this moment? As the guests leaned in, gasping, Victoria's mind raced. Was this revenge? Blackmail? Or something far more heartbreaking? The tension thickened, and just as she opened her mouth to speak, the little girl tugged at Alex's sleeve and whispered, "Daddy, is that my mommy?" The question hung in the air, unanswered, as the scene teetered on the edge of chaos. Victoria felt her knees weaken, the weight of a decade's regret pressing down on her. She glanced around the room, seeing the judgmental eyes of her peers, old money families who'd never known a moment of vulnerability. Her assistant, a sharp-eyed woman named Elena, hovered nearby, ready to intervene, but Victoria waved her off. This was personal, a storm she had to face alone. Alex, sensing the shift, scooped Lily into his arms protectively, his jaw set in determination. The band in the corner struck up a soft melody, oblivious to the drama, but it only amplified the awkward silence at the table. Victoria Harrington had built her empire from the ground up, or so the magazines proclaimed. Heiress to the Harrington fortune, she'd turned a family real estate dynasty into a global conglomerate, her name synonymous with power and precision. But beneath the designer suits and boardroom battles, there was a void, a secret she'd guarded for over a decade. At 22, fresh out of Harvard, she'd fallen hard for a charming artist named Marco, a whirlwind romance that ended in flames when he vanished, leaving her pregnant and alone. Terrified of scandal, of disappointing her iron-willed father, she'd given the baby up for adoption in a quiet, anonymous process. "It's for the best," the lawyer had assured her, but the ache never faded. Now, at 35, she was untouchable, unmarried, her life a series of mergers and acquisitions, with no room for what-ifs. Her days started at dawn in her sleek penthouse overlooking Central Park, where she'd sip black coffee while reviewing market reports. Evenings were filled with galas like this one, where she networked with precision, sealing deals that expanded her influence. But alone at night, she'd stare at the ceiling, wondering about the child she'd never held. Friends, few and far between, would tease her about settling down, but Victoria always deflected with a laugh. "Who has time for that?" she'd say, masking the loneliness that gnawed at her. Alex Rivera, on the other hand, was the epitome of quiet resilience. A former soldier turned auto mechanic, he'd lost his wife, Maria, to cancer just 2 years after adopting their daughter, Lily. Maria had been the one insistent on adoption. Alex had been hesitant at first, but the moment he held tiny Lily in his arms, he was hooked. Life in their modest Brooklyn apartment was simple: school runs, soccer practices, bedtime stories under a leaky roof. Money was tight, especially after Maria's medical bills, but Alex made it work with overtime shifts and a fierce determination to give Lily the world. He wasn't bitter, he was grateful. But lately, Lily's questions about her real parents had grown insistent, sparked by a school project on family trees. "Why don't I look like you or Mommy?" she'd ask, her big brown eyes searching his face. Alex had always planned to tell her the truth when she was older, but fate had other ideas. His days were a grind, waking at 5 a.m. to pack Lily's lunch, dropping her at school, then wrenching under hoods at the garage until dusk. Weekends were for pancake breakfasts and park adventures, where he'd push Lily on swings, her laughter a balm for his weary soul. Neighbors knew him as the reliable guy who fixed cars for free when times were tough, but inside, he carried the weight of loss. Maria's photo still sat on the nightstand, a reminder of the family they'd built. It started innocently enough. Alex had won a raffle ticket to the Harrington Foundation's annual gala, a charity event for underprivileged kids, ironically enough. He'd entered on a whim at Lily's school fundraiser, never expecting to win. Dressing up in his old suit, with Lily in a frilly dress borrowed from a neighbor, they arrived at the glittering venue feeling like imposters. "Remember, kiddo, we're just here for the free food," Alex joked, ruffling her hair. But as they mingled, a photographer snapped their picture, and whispers spread. Victoria, hosting the event, glanced at the live feed on her tablet and felt her world tilt. That face, the child's face, was a mirror of her own at that age. Heart pounding, she excused herself from a conversation with investors and approached their table, her heels clicking like a countdown. The ballroom was a whirlwind of silk and sparkle, servers weaving through with trays of hors d'oeuvres. Alex noticed her approach, his instincts from military days kicking in, something about her poise screamed authority. Lily, munching on a mini quiche, looked up with curiosity. "Excuse me," Victoria said, her voice composed but her hands trembling slightly. "I couldn't help but notice your daughter. She reminds me of someone." Alex looked up, his warm smile fading as he registered the intensity in her eyes. Lily beamed, oblivious. "Hi. I'm Lily. This is my daddy." Victoria knelt down to Lily's level, a rare softness breaking through her polished facade. "Hello, Lily. You have the most beautiful curls." The interaction was brief, but it ignited something in Victoria, a pull she couldn't ignore. As the evening progressed, she found excuses to circle back, asking Alex about his life, his work. He was guarded at first, but his stories of single parenthood struck a chord. "It's not easy," he admitted over dessert, "but she's my everything." The chocolate mousse melted on their plates as they talked, the gala's auction droning in the background. Victoria shared snippets of her world, careful not to overwhelm, but Alex sensed the chasm between them. "Must be nice, having all this," he said, gesturing to the opulence. Victoria's laugh was hollow. "It has its price." Little did Alex know, Victoria had already set her investigators in motion. By the next morning, a file landed on her desk. Adoption records, sealed but cracked open with her resources. The baby she'd given up, her daughter, was Lily Rivera. The revelation hit like a storm, flooding her with guilt, regret, and a desperate longing. How had she let this happen? She'd convinced herself the child would have a better life, away from the cutthroat world of wealth. But now, seeing Lily's bright smile, she wondered if she'd been wrong. Victoria paced her penthouse, tears streaming for the first time in years. She had to make this right, but how? Confront Alex? Demand custody? The thought terrified her. She wasn't maternal, wasn't equipped for this. Yet, the void in her heart screamed for connection. She called her best friend, Sophia, a fellow executive who'd known her since college. "Vic, this is huge," Sophia said over the phone, her voice laced with concern. "You can't just barge in. Think about the kid." Victoria nodded to herself, staring out at the city skyline. The buildings loomed like her ambitions, tall, unyielding, but ultimately empty. Meanwhile, Alex sensed something off. Calls from unknown numbers, a sleek black car lingering outside his garage. Paranoid, he told himself, but when Lily came home from school chattering about a nice lady who visited during recess, alarm bells rang. "What lady?" he pressed gently. "She said she knows you, Daddy. She gave me this." Lily held up a silver locket, engraved with a delicate V. Alex's stomach dropped. This wasn't random, this was targeted. He scooped Lily into a hug, his mind racing. Who was this woman, and what did she want with his daughter? That evening, after tucking Lily in, he sat at the kitchen table, poring over old adoption papers. Maria had handled most of it, but the agency name jumped out, linked to high-profile clients. A quick online search revealed ties to the Harringtons. "No way," he muttered, piecing it together. Anger bubbled up, mixed with fear. He wasn't losing Lily, not after everything. Victoria's first real confrontation came unexpectedly. She'd arranged a chance meeting at a park near Alex's home, but he was ready. Spotting her on a bench, he approached with Lily in tow, his expression stern. "Miss Harrington, I presume? Stay away from my kid." Victoria stood, her designer coat fluttering in the breeze. "Please, Alex. You don't understand. Lily, she's mine. Biologically." The words hung heavy, a cliffhanger in the crisp autumn air. Alex froze, his world shattering. Adoption papers flashed in his mind, sealed, anonymous. How could this be true? Lily looked between them, confused. "Daddy?" As Victoria reached out, Alex pulled back, his voice low and fierce. "You gave her up. She's mine now." The standoff escalated, emotions raw, as leaves swirled around them like unspoken accusations. Joggers passed by, casting curious glances, but the trio was locked in their bubble of tension. Victoria's eyes pleaded, "I was young, scared. I thought I was doing right by her." Alex shook his head, "Right? By abandoning her? We've built a life. You can't just show up." The park encounter lingered in both their minds, a turning point that spiraled into days of unrest. Victoria returned to her office, burying herself in work, but distractions plagued her. Board meetings blurred as she replayed the scene, her assistant Elena noticing the change. "Everything okay, Miss Harrington?" Elena asked, handing her a coffee. Victoria hesitated, then confided partially. "Family stuff. Complicated." Elena, a single mom herself, offered sympathy. "Family always is." On Alex's end, he confided in his brother, Carlos, over beers at a local bar. "This rich lady claims Lily's hers. What do I do?" Carlos, a cop, advised caution. "Get a lawyer, bro. Protect your girl." Alex nodded, but sleep evaded him, nightmares of losing Lily haunting his nights. What followed was a whirlwind of legal consultations and heated exchanges. Victoria, driven by remorse, hired the best lawyers to explore visitation rights. "I just want to know her," she pleaded in a late-night call to Alex. But he was unyielding, protective. "You think money buys everything? Lily's happy. Stable. You waltz in now, after all these years?" His words cut deep, forcing Victoria to confront her privilege. For the first time, she questioned her life, the endless pursuits of wealth that left her isolated. Relatable in her vulnerability, she began therapy, unpacking the trauma of her own abandonment by her mother at a young age. "I was scared," she admitted to her therapist, Dr. Ellis, a kind woman with wire-rimmed glasses. "I didn't want to repeat the cycle." Sessions delved deep. Childhood memories of her father's stern expectations, the pressure to be perfect. "You've armored yourself with success," Dr. Ellis observed. "But armor keeps love out too." Victoria left each appointment raw, but lighter, determined to change. Alex, too, grappled with his own demons. Maria's death had left him scarred, afraid of loss. Opening up to Lily about her origins was the hardest conversation of his life. They sat on the couch, her favorite stuffed bear between them. "Sweetie, before Mommy and I adopted you, there was another lady who carried you in her tummy. She loved you so much she wanted you to have the best life." Lily's eyes welled up. "Does she want me back?" Alex held her tight. "No one is taking you away. But maybe we can all be a family in a new way." It was a turning point, his heart softening as he saw Lily's curiosity bloom. She drew pictures of "my big family," stick figures holding hands. Alex hung them on the fridge, a reminder to stay open. But doubts crept in, could he share Lily? His therapist, recommended by Carlos, helped unpack his grief. "Maria would want you to let love in," the counselor said. Alex pondered that, visiting Maria's grave one rainy afternoon. "What do I do, love?" he whispered to the headstone. The wind rustled leaves, as if in answer. The challenges mounted. Victoria's father, the formidable Reginald Harrington, discovered the secret and exploded. "This will ruin us." Scandal in the papers. He threatened to cut her off, but Victoria stood firm for the first time. "This is my daughter, father. I won't abandon her again." The family rift deepened, mirroring her internal struggle. Reginald, in his sprawling estate upstate, paced his study, cigar in hand. "You've gone soft, Victoria. Business first." But she hung up, her resolve steeling. On Alex's side, financial woes hit hard, a garage flood from a storm, threatening his livelihood. Pride kept him from accepting help, but when Lily fell ill with a high fever, he swallowed it and reached out to Victoria. "She needs better care than I can afford right now." Victoria rushed to the hospital, her wealth proving useful as she arranged top specialists. In the waiting room, barriers crumbled. "Thank you," Alex said softly. "I misjudged you." The sterile halls echoed with beeps and footsteps, but in that moment, they shared a quiet understanding. Lily's room was filled with balloons Victoria brought, her small hand in Alex's as she slept. As Lily recovered, tentative bonds formed. Weekend visits turned into shared outings, picnics, zoo trips. Victoria learned to braid hair, to laugh without agenda. At the zoo, they watched elephants, Lily's excitement infectious. "Look, the baby won," she squealed. Victoria knelt, pointing out details, her heart swelling. Alex watched, a smile tugging at his lips. "You're good with her," he admitted later, as they shared ice cream. Victoria blushed. "I'm learning." But shadows lingered. Alex's garage struggled post-flood, bills piling up. Victoria offered discreet help, loan through a foundation grant. "No strings," she insisted. Alex accepted reluctantly, but it eased tensions. Lily's school friends noticed the changes. "You have two moms now?" one asked. Lily shrugged. "Kinda. It's cool." The innocence warmed them all. But tension simmered. During a family dinner at Victoria's mansion, old wounds reopened. The table was set with fine china, a far cry from Alex's Formica kitchen. Lily marveled at the chandelier. After she went to bed in a guest room, Alex and Victoria talked. "You think this erases what you did?" Alex challenged. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "No. But I'm trying." The argument peaked, voices raised, until Victoria revealed a letter from her past, Marco's abandonment note, explaining her fear. "I was alone, like you after Maria." Empathy bridged the gap, but just as forgiveness loomed, a knock at the door interrupted. A process server handed Alex papers, Reginald's lawsuit for custody, claiming Victoria unfit. The shockwave hit, another cliffhanger, as alliances fractured anew. Alex's face paled. Your own father?" Victoria gasped, horrified. "He wouldn't." But the papers were real, a betrayal that stung deep. The legal battle was grueling, testing everyone's resolve. Reginald, portrayed as the cold patriarch, hired detectives to dig up dirt on Alex, his military PTSD, financial instability. "He's no fit parent," Reginald snarled in court. The courtroom was stark, filled with whispers from spectators. Victoria, torn, testified against her father. "I've made mistakes, but Lily belongs with Alex. And with me, if she'll have me." Her voice cracked, vulnerability on display. Alex's heartfelt plea followed, "Love isn't about money. It's bedtime stories, scraped knees, being there." Lily's innocent drawing of "my two mommies and daddy" was submitted as evidence, melting hearts. Relatable witnesses, neighbors, teachers, vouched for Alex's dedication. Mrs. Gomez, the neighbor, spoke of his selflessness. "He fixed my car when I couldn't pay. That's a good man." Victoria's transformation shone through, her vulnerability humanizing her billionaire status. Dr. Ellis testified to her progress. "She's committed to growth." Subplots intertwined, Sophia supported Victoria, attending hearings. "You're brave," she said. Carlos backed Alex, offering security tips. "Watch your back." Media caught wind, tabloids splashing headlines, Heiress's secret child drama. Victoria's business suffered, stocks dipped, partners wary. "Handle this quietly," her board advised. But she prioritized family. Alex faced garage sabotage, tires slashed, suspected Reginald's doing. "This ends now," Alex vowed. A mediation session turned heated. Reginald confronted Victoria. "You're throwing away our legacy." She retorted, "Legacy means nothing without heart." Tears flowed, old grievances aired, her mother's leaving, his emotional absence. "I pushed you to be strong," he admitted gruffly. A crack appeared. Resolution came in waves. The judge ruled in favor of joint custody, emphasizing family unity. "This child needs all the love she can get." Reginald, faced with losing his daughter entirely, relented, offering an olive branch, a trust fund for Lily, managed by Alex. "I was wrong," he admitted in a private meeting, his voice breaking. "I see that now." The family dined together awkwardly at first, Reginald softening as Lily chattered about school. "Grandpa," she called him tentatively. He smiled, a rare sight. Alex and Victoria, through counseling, navigated co-parenting. Sparks flew unexpectedly, shared laughs over Lily's antics kindled romance. A picnic turned intimate. "You're not what I expected," Alex confessed, as they watched Lily chase butterflies. Victoria smiled. "Neither are you." Their first kiss was tentative, under a setting sun, a new chapter. But hurdles remained, blending lives. Victoria downsized her schedule, delegating to Elena. "Take the reins," she said. Alex expanded his garage with her input, hiring help. Lily adjusted, therapy helping. "I like having more people to love," she said. Months later, at a quiet family gathering in a rented cabin upstate, Victoria proposed a new beginning, not marriage, but partnership. "She's with us," she said, echoing Alex's words from that fateful gala. The group, Alex, Lily, Reginald, even Sophia and Carlos, toasted. Laughter filled the air, games by the fire. Reginald shared stories of Victoria's childhood, humanizing him. "She was always stubborn," he chuckled. Alex nodded. Like father, like daughter. In the years that followed, their blended family became a beacon. Victoria scaled back her empire, founding a non-profit for single parents. Ribbon-cutting ceremonies featured Lily, beaming. Alex's garage thrived with her investment, but on his terms, community-focused repairs. Lily grew into a confident teen, her story a testament to resilience. High school brought boyfriends, arguments, "You're too strict," she'd yell at Alex. Victoria mediated, drawing from her growth. "We all make mistakes," she'd say. Reginald mellowed, spoiling Lily with trips, but teaching values. Hard work matters, he'd insist. Challenges lingered, teenage rebellions, old insecurities. A health scare for Reginald united them, hospital vigils, reconciliations. "I love you, Dad," Victoria whispered. He recovered, stronger bonds forged. Alex's PTSD flared during fireworks. Victoria soothed him. "You're safe," she'd murmur. Lily's first heartbreak, they consoled her together. "Love hurts, but it's worth it," Alex said. One evening, as they sat around the dinner table in their shared home, a compromise between mansion and apartment, Lily raised a glass. "To us. The family we chose." Tears flowed, bonds unbreakable. Victoria reflected on her journey, from frozen heiress to loving mother. Alex found healing in openness. Reginald discovered humility. The journey taught them all, wealth can't buy happiness, but love can heal the deepest wounds. Alex found peace in vulnerability, Victoria in humility, Lily in wholeness, Reginald in redemption. Their story, once fractured, wove into something beautiful, a reminder that it's never too late to rewrite your ending. As the sun set on their shared life, Victoria reflected on that frozen moment at the table. It wasn't the end, it was the start of everything real. Years on, at Lily's college graduation, they stood proud. "We did it," Alex whispered to Victoria, hand in hers. Reginald clapped loudest. The crowd cheered, but their applause was for each other. Expanding further, the family ventured into philanthropy together. Victoria's nonprofit grew, partnering with Alex's community programs. Workshops for single dads, scholarships for adopted kids. Lily volunteered, inspired. "I want to help others like us," she said. A documentary captured their tale, anonymized but impactful. "Family is what you make it," Victoria narrated. Holidays became traditions, Thanksgiving feasts with mishmash cuisines, Maria's recipes blended with Harrington elegance. Christmas trees overloaded with ornaments from all eras. Birthdays epic, Lily's 16th featured a surprise party, Reginald's yacht docked for fun. Laughter echoed. Romantic twists, Alex proposed to Victoria on a quiet beach vacation. "Will you?" he asked, ring simple but meaningful. "Yes," she breathed. Wedding intimate, Lily as flower girl. Honeymoon brief, family first. Ages passed, grandchildren arrived. Lily married, her own family echoing theirs. History repeats, but better, she joked. Victoria and Alex retired, traveling modestly. Reginald passed peacefully, his will generous but heartfelt. In twilight years, they sat on porches, reminiscing. From that gala to here, Victoria marveled. Alex squeezed her hand. Best detour ever. Their legacy, a foundation enduring, stories inspiring. Love's triumph over odds. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe for more emotional tales that inspire. Thanks for watching.